All right, here we go. We are doing another video about the craziest things, the craziest shit I've seen, or craziest stuff I've ever seen in the National Guard part 5. Okay. This happened, we're going to be jumping ahead several years, and we're going to be jumping back several years during the next few videos. And some of this stuff's kind of, some views, maybe 10, maybe 15. Okay, so what? So what? All right, part 5. This goes back in the way back machine, actually not really too far back compared to the other National Guard stuff. We're going to go to Camp Virginia, Kuwait. December 2007. Yeah. This happened in the chow hall, standing in line outside the chow hall in Camp Virginia. The Marines, there was a whole couple companies of these guys that was in the tents next to us. You know, here's our tents in Camp Virginia, you know, Alpha Company, Bravo Company, Charlie Company, Delta Company, Headquarters Company. And then across the dirt road, with all the loud machines, the big generators, and the porta potties, you go across there, and there's all these other tents. And they had the Marines there with their guide arms and everything like that. Marines, no problem. Marines. And the Marines, these Marines were rotating home from their tour in Iraq. And let me tell you, they had some hot Marine chicks over there. Wow. Especially those little Marine Corps short shorts. Wow. They were carrying their M16s across their back. I don't know what model it was. Maybe A4s. I'm not sure. And they're all smiling and they're jogging and giggling, you know, being women. Even though they're Marines, they're still women. So, you know, we haven't seen any women when we're in Camp Virginia. And when we go to Iraq, we see even less women. Camp Virginia, as the story goes, is a place of units rotating in and out into Iraq or in other places in Kuwait. So we had a contingent of soldiers from Georgia. Not from the state of Georgia, but the Georgians over in Europe. And you can't miss these guys. Big, bulky. They look like Armenians. They look like Russians. They all almost, I mean, if I was to say that, oh, you're just being a racist, they all pretty much look the same. And they get to have their little 5 o'clock shadow goatees. They're military. I don't know what they were doing in Iraq. Actually, yeah, I do, because I seen their fob get hit by a V-bed, but that was anyway. That has nothing to do with the story. So the craziest stuff I seen in the National Guard, and this actually happened in the chow line. So there was a bunch of us. National Guard Army guys wearing our ACUs, wearing our soft caps, or boonie hats like this. That's why I was wearing my boonie hat. And there's some of us. Then there's, in front of us, was a bunch of female Marines with some other Marines. No problem. Come on, you're going to look at some female Marines' hindquarters, of course, you know. But being Army guys or National Guard, or they're not true Army, we didn't make rude remarks towards the Marines. Despite the rivalry that we have with the Marines, we have a rivalry that goes back century or even longer. But, we talk to the Marines, they talk to us, we're Army guys. The female Marines, they had no problem talking to a bunch of dirty National Guard grunts. No problem. Then these Georgian clowns come bebopping on up. About 10 of them. And they're all speaking their own language. So they came up behind us and they made it wait in line, but also to the side of us, like 3 or 4 of them, you know. They're not really in line, but they're with their contingent. And a couple of them started making rude gestures towards the female Marines. I said, oh shit. They were making rude gestures. So one of the Marine guys is like, hey, you know, he told the guy, hey, you know, I had to ease that shit, you know, be more respectful. And the Georgian guys are, you know, doing the Russian or whatever language. And one of them did this to one of the female Marines. And that was it. The thing was, it wasn't a Marine that started. One of our National Guardsmen from, I think it was Charlie Company, saw this guy and punched him in the mouth. And that was it. The fight was on. And these guys, you know, the Marines jumped in automatically. From the word go, they just automatically jumped in. Despite the inner rivalry between the Army and the Marines joined the National Guard guys' side, and they went to town on these fucking guys. They went to town on them. I mean, they were just throwing boom, 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 boom. The Georgian guys, and they're pretty big, beefy guys, and they're fighting back, but they were just outnumbered. They just got outnumbered. Even a couple of the females Marines was trying to get some kicks in on these guys. Oh my God, what a disaster. I mean, and no one broke it up. They kept on fighting. I mean, I was like, oh shit, I backed away because, you know, well, Jeff, you're a fucking coward. Says, dude, they was like 3 guys on one on each guy. You think I'm going to join in on that and put my boots to somebody? Hell no, dude. You know, and finally, I mean, here I am as an NCO. I mean, finally, you know, we had somebody that was higher ranked, you know. I'm like, what the hell? And stop this shit. And then they just kept on throwing till eventually a couple of the Marines backed away. The women, the females, they backed away. A couple of the National Guard backed up. And the Georgians, you know, one of their guys come running up. And I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna start fighting. He started yelling at the Georgian guys. He's like, what the hell you think you're doing? And everybody just broke up. There was bloody noses, fat lips. And a couple of the Marines, you know, they got busted pretty good too. And some of the National Guard guys got some lumps, you know. And these, you know, the Georgian guys, they just didn't understand that, you know, every city and every town has their contingent. And these LA boys from Los Angeles, man, they weren't messing around. You know, and I can say the Georgians, they put up a hell of a scrap. So they separated the Georgians with us and the Marines. So they forced them to leave and go to another facility to go eat. So we went in, and, you know, the Marines are, you know, they're like laughing and all this other, because they thought it was a big damn joke. And, oh, excuse me, Jesus. So, you know, that was kind of crazy. But the problem showed up 2 days later. And I didn't go on any chem missions, the Kuwaiti escort missions, and I didn't drive a convoy into Iraq, so I was back at Camp Virginia. And I just went and came out of our tent. Our tent was on the very, very edge by the road, and I come out. And I heard some scuffling. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I look over there. The Georgians came back in force and attacked the Marines in a melee at their site where their tents were at. So there was maybe 20 of the Georgians, and there was maybe 30 or 40 of the Marines. So I go running over there, and some of our guys see it, and they go charging in. But, you know, we couldn't get at the Georgians because they were just mobbed by these guys, just friggin' mobbed. And set fisticuffs. So, a couple days later, and the third incident I saw happen was the one that broke the camel's back. Is we was in line to go back in the chow hall, and this is during lunch. And I had a Iraq escort mission later on that afternoon, so I was going to go in and get chow, eat, and some of us is going to go get some of our gear, like our body armor, and go to our vehicles and go do an escort mission. South Korean contingent, about 7 of those guys come walking up behind us. Koreans, and these are, let me tell you something, these are some pretty big boys. I found out later they were Korean Marines. South Korean Marines. These are some pretty fucking hardy dudes, I'm telling you. So we're in line with them, and we're laughing, and their English was kind of okay. I mean, where you guys from? Oh, you know, they told us, okay. Then the Georgians come rolling up, being as loud and as obnoxious as the last couple times I've seen them rolling up. Oh, of course. Drop this damn thing. So we go inside the chow hall. We got our trays. We're doing this. We got our trays. And here's want a salad, and you know, I'm gonna take some of that beef steak. You know, cool. And I go up, and as I'm going up, all the bread was gone. All the Georgians, some of the Georgians that was there before the South Koreans and us, I mean, they were taking bricks of bread, bricks of that stuff. So all the bread was gone by the time that, you know, we got up there, and some of the Koreans. And then there was this couple of Georgians, and this one South Korean guy. There was 2 slices left, so he takes it, puts it on his tray. And he was 2 guys in front of me. This Georgian that was standing close by him reached over and took the 2 slices of bread off his tray and put it on his tray. The South Korean guy looks up at him. The Georgian standing there doing this. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Standing there doing this. South Korean guy puts his plate down. And the Georgian guy just looking at him with his plate. And this is what he did. Knife hand strike right under his chin. Smack! This guy, the blow came up this way, past his tray, right under his chin. And this guy did this. And I swear, this is no bullshit, he does this. And you see his feet doing this as he fell. And that was it. The South Koreans immediately went into a goddamn melee with these guys. And the Georgians, they came out, and then all the Americans slid their chairs out like this, got up, ran over, and everybody started fighting. Boom, boom. I mean, tables are getting knocked over. I mean, glasses being knocked over. And these South Koreans went to town on these fucking guys. Went to town. I am not shitting you. All fucking 10 of those guys, it was at least 10, they were knocked out within the first 30 seconds of this melee. The other surviving ones was getting their asses kicked by some of the American contingent. Tables were knocked over. The food went everywhere. Oh, my God. Holy shit. I just could not believe that brawl. I mean, it is almost like watching a movie. That's how friggin' insane it was. But somebody had to call. I mean, some of the other guys were yelling. And there was 2 officers finally started yelling at everybody. And some of the NCOs, the higher ranking NCOs, they started yelling. And they separated the South Koreans away from the Georgians, the Army guys, and the handful of Marines. Everybody had to separate. Everybody was forced to leave. Everybody. The Georgians out that door, the Americans out that door, the South Koreans out the back door. Everybody done. They didn't file charges. But after the 3rd incident, the Georgians were removed from Camp Virginia. They put them in Camp Aragon to finish up their final out processing to get them on planes and fly them back to Europe. And I'm pretty sure those assholes probably started a fight, more than likely, probably over in Camp Aragon. More than likely. So, that is your video on some of the craziest shit I've seen in the National Guard. Part 5. Well, in the Army or whatever in Kuwait. Anyway, this is Jeff. And, yeah. See y'all next time. If I decide to make a part 6. Hooah. Hooah.